Hey folks, Bayo here, and I'm in front of the screen instead of behind it talking about StarCraft because we at Alpha X have a really cool new sponsor. It's called Salad, and it turns that passive time when you're not doing anything on your computer, you're walking the dog, you're sleeping, you're at work, whatever the case may be, and turns it into active income through Ethereum mining. But that's only the start, because while right now it's a cryptocurrency mining tool, in the future, the goal here is to use it for distributed computing, solving weather patterns, the human genome, etc., etc., etc. Really, really cool stuff here. Very excited about it. And of course, well, it gets even better. It is open source. It is freely available to the public. They will actively choose whichever mining agent is best for you. And there's instant payout. You can get payouts on Amazon, on Spotify, on Shopify, on Visa gift cards. In fact, that's what I use. I use it to go fund my own StarCraft events, Bayamul fashions that are going to be coming with a little bit more frequency now because of this sponsor, because of Salad. So make sure to go check them out. Link is, of course, in the description below. And we love them. Hope you're going to love them too. Hello everyone, my name is Byun. This is Alpha X, and once again we got a replay here for you today. It is Parting versus Byun from ESL Open Cup number 87, the quarterfinals there. But before we get into things, before we talk about things of too much import, of course, I'd like to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, help the algorithm. It really helps us out with all that. And of course, well, we're also gonna be talking about Salad a little bit as we get into this. But for now, with that all being said, in the upper left, in the red, he is representing his sugar puppy bears, Parting. And in the bottom right, in the blue, the former world champion for the Shopify Rebellion. Give it up for Byun. And man, what a matchup we've got here today. Two players known for their map control and most importantly, for their unit control as they look to move across the map. Of course, Parting, Blink Stalker's his forte, his claim to fame, his tour de force. And Byun, well, he can just control anything and everything whatsoever. And the interesting thing also about Byun here is he does go for that TY-esque build of, building a supply depot for about 30%, 30-40%, something like that. Just to deny scouting as much as he can. This means that Parting is not going to have a great idea of what Byun is actually going for. I mean, we're going to see Marine first out of Byun here, and he does have a gas behind this, so it looks like it's going to be some sort of 1-1-1-1-1 type of setup. Most likely for Widowmine drops, but I guess Hellion drops are also an opportunity, even if they would not be proxied. And Parting, I mean, for his part, we're not going to see anything too crazy from him yet. It's just all about what Byun wants to do. The fun thing about this build that he has gone for is that it very much looks like a 3-Rax Marine Pressure. And you might say, well, Ayo, Parting doesn't see anything. That's true, but from what I've seen, at least of how the Koreans or players like Byun are playing, when they're going for builds like this that does have that quick second supply depot just for the wall, it tends to be for early barracks pressure. But that's not what Byun is doing in this game. He's just going for something normal, something standard. Or not normal or standard necessarily, but certainly it's not going for the 3-0-0 type of build with an early Marine Pressure. Instead, 1-on-1, we do have the Starport underway, and it will be Hellion drops from the Micro God himself. But it's going to be Hellion drops from the main base. We're not going to see anything proxy just like that. And instead, Parting, he's going to proxy something of his own here as the Adept runs across the map at an additional gateway. So he's going to go up and functionally just kind of 4-gate Parting as this game does go on. We do notice, of course, the Chrono there on the Cybercore, just making sure that he hits that. What is that going to be? 315-ish timing. And this is this is disastrous here because Byun has scouted this. The Marine knows what's happening. And Byun, I mean, he's already going for kind of a one-base play. It's not like he has to defend his low ground whatsoever. As long as he defends the high ground, he's going to be fine. And I love this from Byun. So it's going to be quad Hellion drop. Fine. Notice we have 2 Widowmines already underway behind that, and there's an armory underway. So this means that A, Hellions can turn into Hellbats. That's going to be really nice. And B, this ramp is not going to get broken because it doesn't matter whether you have a 4-gate or not, or 3-gate or whatever it is. How many gateways do we actually have? It's actually only 3-gate. Interesting with the proxied gate. Whatever the case, you're not getting up onto the high ground. Not until you have an observer. And by then, I mean, Byun is already going to be exerting tremendous pressure on the other side of the map, as we do see this Hellion drop come on in. So yeah, we have Stalkers, we have gotta be very careful on that. Okay, there we go. Now the armory is now done, which means these Widow Mines are going to stay alive, and now we have drops coming on into the main base here. Nice probe pulls are going to be able to keep probes alive for the time being. They functionally are splits, and Byun does need to get a lot of damage done here, but I mean, oh, 9 workers go down. He's getting the shots. We're gonna have to see just how much he's gonna get. So let's see, 12 workers go down. He's gonna drop onto the natural. There's no defense here, but it looks like the wall has been broken down here. So this army of parting is starting to find some damage, even as the Widow Mines are going to cause some eventual problems. So 14 workers go down, going up to 15, but already we're starting to see some SCVs die for parting as well. The entire mineral line of parting is dead. As that's that was a body block attempt. That was really cool. Didn't really do too much for Byun there, but still, all of his Hellions are still alive. That's the big deal. So yeah, we have some units on the other side here, but they're zoned all on out. SCVs doing the hug of the death to a bunch of Stalkers, and I mean, that actually means the SCVs fight that rather well indeed. So yes, the Hellions are starting to die now, but at the cost of 25, 26 workers, and one Hellion hasn't even taken any damage. I mean, okay, the medevac goes down, and this one Hellion's not going to do anything with the shield battery here. But this has been so much damage. I mean, Parting got some damage done on his own, that's true. But if you look at resources lost here, it's just so much more here for Parting. He's lost a bunch of Stalkers, he's lost a bunch of his army, and he only killed 11 SCVs. Yes, it's 11 SCVs on one base. But he lost almost 3 times as much, and he lost 4 Stalkers, and he lost some Adepts. So we're going to have to see what he's going to be able to do to balance things out here. He's got some Stalkers on the map looking for a follow-up drop, I guess. But Byun is going to be pretty happy here. He's going to have his tanks up rather soon, and yeah, with the Observer out, that does mean that it's going to be a little bit difficult. And Parting actually will find this Widow Mine drop across the map, but there should be the boost just in time, or just not just in time actually, as that boost will go on down. That's 4 Widow Mines that could have been very useful here for the defense for Byun. But still, I don't know that 7 Stalkers are going to be enough to break a tank, Marines, Widow Mines. And yes, there's an Observer here, and that's going to be annoying, but as long as Byun can stem that, or can scan that down, it's going to be a-okay. It's not like there's blink. It's not like these Stalkers will be able to just punch their way on through, jump onto the high ground, and start to contest this tank. Instead, they're just going to try to do what they can to knock down this supply depot, but I mean, a repair is going to be good enough for that, and we're going to see the wonderful pairing there of Liberators and tanks to keep things alive even more. So at this point, kind of a question of what exactly Parting, how he sees this game going. So okay, first see Widow Mine drop in the natural. That's going to just deny mining for whatever. I believe 1 worker will go on down. We're going to have to see what's going to happen in the main base. As there we go, second Widow Mine does drop here. Parting is going to be quick enough on the pulse. Only 1 worker will go down. There are 2 in total. But again, the lack of detection here is what is actually, Byun's not even going to do anything with that. But again, the lack of detection still is a problem, regardless of whether Byun is looking to capitalize on it. But yeah, Parting's just going to say, GG, I don't have enough. He's going to tap out. Game 1 goes to Byun. And now, as we spawn into game number 2, we should probably take a moment to talk about the video, or the organization that is sponsoring today's video. They're called Salad, and you saw the thing at the front, but yeah, and to plug you saw the little ad burst at the front. But to talk about them again, they're really cool. Right now, it's just it's a tool that allows you to take your idle PC time and use it to mine Ethereum. But that's not what's exciting. I mean, there are a bunch of different things that allow you to do something similar. Some are shady, some are not. And Salad is certainly not shady. But the cool thing about Salad is the goal eventually is you're renting your PC time to do high-performance computing, things like solving weather patterns and sequencing genomes and all that. So make sure to go check them out. Use the code AlphaX to get to double your earnings for like the first couple bucks. I certainly use them. They're really cool. But we should probably start to talk about this game now, because we got a Max Packs build coming on up, and Byun, well, he did the same thing he did in game number 1. He has not scouted here whatsoever. No SCV scout for the former world champion, and that means that Party is going to be able to get away with this rather easily indeed, especially with the double gas. Actually, you know what? The double gas, he might even be try to be more aggressive. So now we have the SCV scout coming on out. That is, the SCV scout is not going to go the proper way. It's going to steam its way across the map. But it's not going to have any idea that Parting is going to be on one base, that he has really nothing in his main base, that his gateway's on the other side of the map. All of that fun stuff. And oh, it's going to be a gas steal too. Parting, what are you doing here, bud? I mean, Cybercore is going to be started at home, of course. And we will see a Zealot to start. But, I mean, this is going to be really interesting. Normally, it doesn't matter whether you steal gas from a Terran player because, you know, they're not doing much. But in a game like this, right, Byun has opted for a 1-1-1. It means he's not going to spend those first 450 minerals on a command center. It means he's actually going to want that earlier gas so he can get a factory, so he can get a starport. And SCVs actually are going to get pulled off here before Byun caps out at, 16 out of 16. And the Zealot's going to run on in. There's just not a full wall, which means this bunker should not complete, at least not for a while. The Zealot does have to be careful. But where are we at now? Okay, SCV will find this as a Stargate underway. Yeah, that's what I was thinking here. It's getting a little bit spicy here for parting. So he should be able to make a stalker on now. There we go. Cybercore is done. And with that lack of gas, I mean, we're not going to have a tech lab on this factory for a while. We're not going to have the cyclones that we need to really make this defense happen. And that is always going to be rather interesting. That being said, this is later. All right, this was not, I don't believe this was an 11 pylon. So that does mean that it's just going to take a little longer here for Byun or for Parting to start hitting that critical mass of void rays that are so useful. And Byun, well, he's got early warning, right? He knows that there's something up. He already has that one bunker. And he has already pulled his production structures to be much closer together, much more easily defensible within the auspices of these two bunkers. But void ray number one, just about halfway done at this point, as well, shield batteries already underway in a second gateway in the natural. So we're gonna have quick warpins. We're gonna have quick warpins right there. We're gonna see void rays flying their way on in, and we're gonna have to see whether Byun is capable of breaking the, whether Parting is capable of breaking the rather stalwart defensive position that Parting does have, or that Byun does have. But look at this, Byun says, okay, well, you know what, I don't really have damage to kill Hellions, so I'm just gonna run across the map, see if I can get damage. And what do we have here? Oh yeah, there we go. Parting's just gonna make the full wall. It says, look, okay, you know what? Aliens do not kill structures all that quickly. So Cyclones are getting now underway. We do have one Viking in the sky, and that is going to be rather nice. And it's only one void ray right now, so shield batteries are going to start to take some damage. And yeah, SCVs, as they're repaired, a couple of them will go down, but they're not exactly relevant right now. It's when 2 void rays pop out. It's when 3 void rays pop out that things become a little bit more dicey. We already have one Cyclone out here on the map. A decent amount of these shield batteries have already been spent, and it's not like there's any space that Parting can do, the big brain play of dropping a Nexus for shield battery overcharge, which might sound crazy, but I've seen Haas do it, so can't be that crazy, right? Anyway, oh no, the Cyclone's gonna get locked. Yeah, there we go. It's gonna get chased on down here, but at the expense of one void ray, and suddenly this is a little bit more problematic. But there we go. Thick beams get turned on. One Viking dies immediately, as well as the Cyclone. I mean, shield batteries, for the most part, are starting to run out of energy, so a couple more will pop on out here. We're not at that 3 void ray inflection point that is just so scary as of yet. That being said, I mean, Byun is starting to take tremendous SCV damage. He's taken last 3, actually, I think his last total of 6, but losing these Cyclones is the big deal. He cannot afford to lose them, and the goal is to get to 3 to 4 Cyclones, hit that critical mass, where things are really problematic. But, I mean, the Vikings kind of changed that calculus just a little bit, but not enough to really make a difference here. Yeah, a couple Marines are popping on out, but we're starting to see Byun get heavily supply blocked. So this Cyclone, this Viking that's in production, are really going to be the last set of units here that Byun's going to have on the map. The bunker's going on down. The Cyclone dies as it pops on out. SCVs are going to have to get pulled here, try to defend this bunker, but they're not going to do enough here. The bunker goes down. The Stalkers are still alive. 3 void rays now. We've hit that critical mass moment, and there are just not enough Marines on the field to knock down these void rays in time. Here's the Stalkers. They're doing damn fine work on the ground. Actually, one void ray will go down, so maybe, just maybe. But again, this is 2-gate void ray. The amount of Stalkers that pop out every production cycle. Well, they're causing problems here for Byun, absolutely. So the last of the supply depots will go on down as Byun is supply blocked once again. Looks like this tech lab is going to get targeted down as well, but no, not going to be quite enough here. But we're going to hit 3 void rays rather soon. And another warp. Actually, I wouldn't even mind seeing a depths popping on in as the kind of next warp in there, just getting on top of that tank, eating some friendly fire before things get really too feisty. Or sorry, not on top of the tank, just shading in on top of the Marines, and again baiting out a tank shot. But this works too. We're gonna have Phoenix on the play, or Phoenix on the field after this. Is the Zealots from the start of the game. They recalled back home to deal with the Hellions, and now they're going to be able to use to eat tank shots. All right, so Zel's gonna run on in, just eat those the tank shots as the Void Rays target fire everything down. And yeah, Stalkers don't fight SCVs all the well, but that doesn't really matter. The last tank is, or that second tank is gonna be the last tank of this game as the Void Rays look to run on in. Just a couple Marines and a Viking are just every little bit of anti-air in this game. Stalkers, they don't even care. They're just gonna target the tank down as more and more Stalkers get warped on in. The Void Rays fighting high in the sky. There we go. The tank is dead, which means Stalkers, they can just infinitely micro against these Marines. One Void Ray remains, but that's really all that you need. As Byun, yeah, he's not supply blocked anymore, but he is out of this game. GG parting. He's going to take game 2, and they're moving to game 3. So Byun has shown a really desire, a preference for these like 1-1-1 type of builds. We saw it in game number 1, game 2. Although, in all fairness to him, game number 2, he didn't really have much of a choice in the matter. He had to make sure that he didn't die, and if you get a natural against a build like that, it's just not going to work out for you. I mean, he died anyways, but you know, you get the point. So we're going to have to see whether he goes for something similar in this game. It is the single gas Marine into reactor. So it's going to be a reactor expand most likely from Byun in this game. I'm sorry. No, actually, that's not. It's going to be a tech lab on the high ground. So this is going to be the Gumiho opening, I think. So Gumiho, he came back recently, for those of you that are not aware, although I think most people are aware at this point. And he was playing a very interesting TVP style for... I haven't seen him do it as much recently, but for like the first 2 weeks back, he was just, oh, well, actually, no, I'm not even right, because it's going to be concussive shell marauders. He was opening 2 marauder into +1 stim combat shield time. He wasn't getting concussive shells for them early, but he was just getting 2 marauders to keep him safe and, you know, be active on the map, try to catch that first stalker. But Byun's doing something a little bit different. He's got a second barracks underway. He's getting concussive shells really early. But generally, when you would do something like this, right, you get concussive shells, you proxy the barracks, you try to catch things on the map. In this game, he's going to sit him defensively, and the goal here is to tag an adept, to tag a stalker, to tag whatever kind of early aggressive unit it is. And it's easier to catch the stalker than the adept, but if you tag him right, you kill him off before anything too crazy happens. So there, the marauder is here. Oh, look how well timed out this is. So yes, they're going to tag the adept here. The adept should now go down. The shade is not going to do anything for him. He's going to try to get the Marine, but will be unsuccessful. Marine, of course, takes 3 shots. Adept only gets 2, and now these Marauders are going to run out on the map here. And what do we have? So a gateway on the map, 2-gate pressure, 3-gate pressure coming on in from parting 3-gate pressure coming on in from parting. And Byun, he's getting aggressive with his concussive shell Marauders, which means that, honestly, this thing's going to get a little bit interesting here. So we're going to see the Adept pop on out. It's going to say, okay, there's some Marauders here. And Byun should know, seeing these 2 Adepts here, that this is a 2-gate opening. Not too crazy just yet, but he has not seen the 3rd gateway, which means he's still vulnerable to things. And the shield battery has now been, the shield battery's not finished, so these Marauders are not going to be able to get too much done here. The Stalkers have been forced to warp in at home. Nothing really across the map just yet. And while these Marauders will go down, they're going to be valuable scouting. Actually, the Adept will not die, so that's actually going to be a bit of a waste here. But hey, they got significant damage done on the Adepts. We're going to have to see whether that's going to be worthwhile. Oh, the STV runs back right as the Stalker tries to find the high ground, so not even going to be a great scout on that. What do we have here from Byun? Bunker just about halfway done. He has 6 Marines and 1 Marauder out on the map. Concussive shells, of course, are done. The bunker's not going to be done in time, but these Adepts should die really quickly. Indeed, STVs are going to have to be pulled to make things happen. So the bunker should complete. Marauder popping on top of that, of course, is just going to be, yeah, there we go. This should be a solid defense. Now, 6 workers do go down, but, you know, Parting also committed a lot to this. This is early 3-gate. He's not going to have tech nearly as quickly as he would like. Neither is he going to have an economy as developed as he might otherwise be looking for. But, you know, he's up 9 workers, and he has Byun contained here on 2 bases. So it's not the end of the world. But, oh, actually, you know what? This stim is going to catch him off guard. This is an insanely fast stim here, and with the Marauder and concussive shells, this entire army of Parting is in extreme trouble here. But okay, not quite enough here from Byun. So the bunker will have to be the safe harbor for Byun. And the game goes on. 8 worker lead here for Parting, which is just about what you would expect. And now +1 is, I don't know, 2/3 of the way done here. We're going to see combat shields as well. So Byun's going to have that 6-minute timing that we are all so familiar with. He's there a little bit differently. And he's maybe not going to have quite as much supply as he might otherwise because, you know, his 3rd barracks is just a little bit later. And there is no starport. That's kind of the big thing when we're looking at where the gas went. I mean, he has made 4 Marauders. He got concussive shells early. got that early tech lab. All of that does mean that this starport is going to be a little bit late, which means that the staying power of this timing that he's going to go for it right around 6 minutes, it's not going to be as powerful as it might otherwise be. But oh, he's going to be able to catch this army before Blink is done, and that means so many of these stalkers are going to go on down. I'm kind of surprised we just didn't see an immediate recall from Party. Maybe he didn't have the energy, but now, well, it's all going to be chased on down. If the Marauders can move on forward, notice Byun just kind of microing them to the side so they can get the tags off, and now Blink is done, which means the rest of this army will be able to escape. And yeah, Byun's going to be forced to back on up until his starport, well, his starport's done now, but until he gets medevacs out onto the field. Of course, parting behind this, he does have Colossus, he does have Extend Thermal Lance on the way here, so he's going to eventually have a rather powerful army, but okay, there we go, medevacs underway. Now, if we look at the resources, Byun, yeah, parting is traded a little bit worse, but neither player is too unhappy about where they are right now. I was kind of worried that Byun was just going to really be able to snowball things and knock down so much of kind of the harassment army that parting has on the map that his entire goal is to keep him alive, make sure he doesn't have to deal with too much zany harassment, make sure he doesn't die to that early push. But no, didn't lose too much. Now we have a drop here on the right-hand side of the map for Byun. Parting, his fourth base is done. No gas on that just yet, so he's only on 4 gas. He's not going to have double rope protection anywhere anytime soon. No forges as well, not yet. So it's just going to be kind of tech upgrades, not attack or armor upgrades for the Protoss player. And I like that. If you're going Colossus tech like this as a forge completes, if you're going Colossus tech like this, you really can't afford double forge, anything like that. Not against the type of game that Byun has opted to play. So we have the 1 stalker warping on in. That is not going to be enough to deal with this double trap coming on in here as the Bio looks to stim on in. Just how many workers go down before he's going to be forced on back? The cannon goes down immediately. We're going to see some pylons die as well, and that should be the extent of it. There we go. Stalker's going to blink on forward, but will not be able to knock down these medevacs. 4 workers die, but in the meantime, Byun, he will find this gateway. He will find the pylon as well. So no annoying warp-ins from the Protoss player anymore. And Byun, he does have his third base, closer to being done than not done. No orbital yet, though. And he's just going to look to hit this really powerful timing, 1-1 timing, I think, with the 3-tank kind of 1-1 timing. The follow-up that you tend to be looking for. Because parting, he didn't get tremendous damage done, but what he did was he kind of forced Byun's army to not snowball, to not build to that point where you're up like 15-20 army supplies to the Terran player, and you're just really happy. You can actually make something done. You can stem on top of Colossus, things like that. You just didn't quite have the army or the production to really make that happen. So now his drop, not going to get found on out here. It looks like it should be able to escape all of these stalkers. And the third base is going to go on down. Of course, it's going to be orbital on location, just Byun trying to make sure he can maximize his economy as much as he can. And actually, talk about this 3-tank 1-1 timing. It's looking more and more as he adds his additional production going on up to 5 barracks now, that he's not looking to hit a timing anymore. He understands that it's really not going to be all that effective if he does, so he's just going to sit here on his third base, get on into his Ghost Academy eventually, get into Vikings that he needs, get into like 9 to 12 Vikings, and eventually establish his fourth base. Just establish his pressure on the map, or his position on the map, instead of trying to remove the presence of his opponent. And I think Parting has started to realize this just a little bit. He's like, okay, I don't see any drops. I have really good... Parting actually has really good map vision. He's like, yeah, there are no drops I'm really worried about. I either don't see them or, I mean, I have 4+1 stalkers here. They're going to be able to deal with drops coming on in for the most part. I know you took your third base as well, Byun, so I'm going to take my fourth. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to posture here. I'm going to put some Zealots on the left. Stalkers on the right. Well, actually, sorry, Zealots warping in on the right. And just try to own the middle of the map here. Make it difficult for you to ever move out on the map. And there we go. Zealots on into the third base, which is going to force Byun's army home. And Zealots in the natural as well. And there's just nothing here. Yeah, but there's a little bit of a rally. It looks like Byun is going to be able to deal with this eventually. But actually, you know what? He's going to do a pretty good job because the Zealots are not exactly shift-clicked appropriately. So only 2 workers go down. Nice job there, Byun. Great cleanup from him. And now, well, he's got a little bit more time to move out on the map. But now it's time for the Invisible Men. DTs finding their way on into the natural and the third base here of Byun. But look, like the Colossus. Oh, man, that was such an opportunity there for Byun. Not going to work out for him. But Those Colossus were so exposed, man. If you knock those 3 Colossus down, it's just going to be the end of the game. So 13 workers do go down. It looks like Byun is almost kind of going all in here. And massive tank shots on top of all of these Colossus, on top of the, well, on top of the Disruptor, but it's not going to be enough. You're not with shield battery overcharge. 18 workers have died for Byun on the other side of the map. And Zealots here as well. Not just the DTs, they were cleaned up, but now Zealots looking to finish what the DTs have started. And we're only on 5 Vikings. We're not at that 3 Viking per Colossus number that really makes life easy for the Terran player. So now the Disruptor shot's going to go on, and no tanks will die this time, but the next Disruptor shot should kill off 2 of them rather simply. But you know what? Look. Oh, that's going to be a big Disruptor shot. If Byun can break this 3rd base, it's going to be 3 bases versus 3 bases. Yeah, he's going to be down a decent amount of workers, but it's not going to be the end of the world. I mean, he's got scans, he's got mules. And if he knocks this base out, knocks down a decent amount of the probes, he's going to be not unhappy, but not happy. Or he's not going to be happy, but not unhappy either. He's going to look to stim on in. Nice splits there on top of all the Disruptors. Really not going to take that much damage, and 2 Disruptors do go down. Now we have more Zealots running on in. I mean, they're not going to kill that many more SCVs, but that's just because there are not many more SCVs to be killed. Party absolutely owns Byun's base. And Byun, he's just not going to get nearly as much. Like, he killed 8 probes, sure. He killed off a base, but I mean, Parting is already expanding to what is now going to be his new 4th base. He's up just about 20 workers, and yeah, he's down some army supply, but he's got a lot of effective army supply. A decent amount of the army supply of Byun just doesn't really do much when Parting's army is under shield batteries, which it probably should be, or it's in medevacs, which are great. They keep the army alive, but they're not really, you know, fighting army supply. And now these tanks are going to take a shot and go down too. There we go. All right, so 2-2 now underway from Byun, as he will have a 2 worker upgrade. Or a 2 upgrade for the time being. Or a 2 upgrade advantage. There we go. I was looking at the 2 workers. Why did 2 workers have to die? Messing up with everything I'm trying to say. Okay, so now DT's going to run on in. Byun knows that he's like, I don't have vision here anymore. What's up? Oh, DT. Okay, so that will get scouted on out. And this DT in the 3rd base starting to kill more and more workers. SCVs have been pulled to try to deal with this, and not going to be all that successful. 5 workers will go on down. And Byun now posturing on the right-hand side, trying to see if he can do something about this base that Parting kind of set up and didn't really do anything with. And I do like what Byun's doing here at this point, really taking advantage of his army supply lead that he does have. Although, yeah, there we go. He needs to scan out the DT. Actually, you know what? I kind of like this that we're seeing. There's just like the drips and drabs of DTs that we're seeing from Parting, because Byun's only on 45 workers. He's lost a significant amount of SCVs in this game. Oh, he's going to get a tank too. That's going to be very nice here. But anyway, he's lost a significant amount of SCVs in this game. Call it 56 already, and that means that he has to rely on mules a lot to try to keep his income some semblance of normal. And if he's relying on that, if he's relying on, you know, these mules to keep things alive, it means, well, A, he's not going to have a lot of scans, which means the DTs can get good work, or B, he's going to be forced to spend scans instead of DTs, or instead of mules, which means that he's not getting those additional 250 mineral bursts. And notice Parting here, he's just staying on top of this army, targeting, firing down as many tanks as possible. Looks like Byun's out of scans right now. He's, you know, Byun actually has a lot of gas. I would love to see a couple ghosts get added on into this army just to provide for the EMPs that allow him to, well, kill DTs. Like, yeah, ghosts in general are maybe not as great against a pure Colossus or a Colossus-based army as against, say, Charizard Archon, but they let you deal with DTs. And oh, look at this surround coming on him. Byun gonna get on top of all the disruptors to start, and then he should be able to kill off all of these Colossus coming on in. Tanks just getting dropped to really just soak things up. 1 Colossus goes down, 2 goes down, 3 and 4. It's just the DTs knocking at the door here because everything else is dead. And the DTs there, not far away from things. Byun is gonna take a miracle of a fight. He's doubling the army supply of Parting in this game. And now, well, he's going to try to move out on the map, but Parting immediately understands the problem that he's in. We have Zealots on the left-hand side. We have Zealots and DTs on the right-hand side. Just say, Byun, if you move out right now, I'm going to wreak havoc to your income once again. I'm going to force you back home because I cannot fight you right now. And you like the idea. It's really now it's a question of whether Byun has left enough at home, whether Parting has enough defensively. I mean, DTs are, Disruptors are powerful. We should not forget that. But it looks like Zealots. The Zealot DT army is just too much here. It's knocking down the rally of Byun before it can really establish itself. And Byun is losing really just about as much as his opponent is losing at this point. Now, nice stem on top of these disruptors. 1 will go down. that's just going to be about it for the time being. Fourth base, I guess it's third base now for parting, but what was the fourth base? We'll go on down. A couple defensive DTs warped on in. They're going to get scanned on down. They should be able to escape, though, actually, with Blink. His base will die, and the tanks will die as well. Byun, his army supply lead, it was 50. With these tanks going down, it's going to go down to just about 20 here. And with this, really just with the lack of scans that he's got, that's the big deal. I mean, now we have a command center that is burning. He only has 3 orbitals, and Byun actually has very little economy at this point. He has 30 workers, sure, but even more importantly, there are only 8 mineral patches, and some of these are going to go down very quickly. Only 4 mineral patches on this base, and I mean, they're mostly gone. 180 minerals there, 200 minerals, 80, 250. I mean, that's just not a lot of income as Dallas look to run on in. And look at this. Byun does not have the money even to repair does not really even have the money to repair his orbital all that quickly. He's functionally on one base in a little bit. And parting for his part, he's mining out of the third base just fine. There's a little bit more left in this natural, again, because he doesn't have mules. He's actually mined out of the main base, but again, so is Byun. And Parting does have another base getting established here. I kind of like Parting's position, and I mean, look at the supply. You should. Now, disruptor shots are going to go on out. Byun just have to be very careful at this point. Maybe earlier on, he could have afforded a disruptor shot or two, but at this point, with his economy, I mean, he's mining 1,000 minerals a minute, but that really, thank you, mules. It's not like that is sustainable income. When you're mining only 1,000 minerals a minute, you got to be careful with what you have. That being said, I mean, look at this army. It is 27 Marauders and 6 Marines. Actually really cool to think about. I mean, if you think about it, right, okay, Byun's got a lot of gas. He's not mining much minerals. Yeah, sure, build a bunch of Marauders. Run across the map, just concussive shell everything down, kill it off. It's a great army, unless they're a bunch of char slots. Oh, look at this flank. Who is flanking whom here? Byun going to stim on top of things. He's going to just bait out a couple disruptor shots and will not get much. Actually, he's going to get a DT killed for his trouble, which is going to be very nice there. It means one less scan he maybe has to use. Now we're going to see a boost on into the main base. The tech is going to come under fire here for Byun. He's going to give us a big stim. Disruptors are going to look to go on in. Disruptor shots will go off with tremendous aplomb. Nice snipes there on the close disruptors here. Byun has got to pick up everything. He's not going to really lose much of anything whatsoever. One medevac does go down. Now the base is dead. And a couple disruptors died. So we're looking at, really, I'm curious. Yeah, resources lost, plus 7k here for Parting. So even as he has a soon to be, I mean, eventually, you know, yeah, he has a more expensive army, even if the supply is lower. His income is the big deal. He's got a lot more. The reason this is close, of course, is because Byun is just trading stupidly well. Just knocking off so many DTs, so many Zealots, so many bases. And these scans just being dry. Honestly, at this point, scans aren't even all that great because you need to kind of conserve the money that you have. I would love to see this, the orbital go and kind of float to another base. We don't see that just yet. As Byun is going to stim on in to this, what do we call it? Yeah, into the fourth base. And the DTs are actually just going to be able to clean up all of this because I don't believe there's scans anymore. And it looks like Byun lost a lot in the main base. He tried for a big doom drop. It was not successful in that supply lead he had. Not really there anymore, but scans will be able to knock down a lot of these DTs as this base will go on down, as well as 25 workers. So now Byun, 25 workers. Parting at 34. He's down to an army supply. Byun has a 2 upgrade lead, but he's kind of running out of scans. That has been the story of the last couple minutes. You just really cannot consistently engage this army of Parting. And every time he's forced to take an engagement, right, and he runs out of scans, that's effectively a temporary plus 250 in the resources lost column there for Byun, because again, each mule is about 250 minerals. Oh, Byun's going to find a lot of this army here on the left-hand side. Sargs look to blink on in. And yeah, they should just target down the medevacs, let the DTs kill off the rest. And yeah, that's going to be a massive, massive pick off there. As the one medevac that survives, A is very low, can die very quickly, and B doesn't have anything in it. So gone are the days of the 30 Marauders and 60 and like 3 Marines. It's a bit more of a balanced army here, which also means the army is cheaper. Just run through the spot because Byun's not looking anymore. Run through the scan there. I love just the random DTs out on the map. Well, I guess there's a warp person, but just random DTs out on the map. Because again, we're talking about a game of economy at this point. Every Marine that a DT kills, every Marauder, whatever it is, every scan that's forced is so impactful in this game where Byun is, he's actually only mining off of one base. It looks like he ran his main off to this fourth base location. But it's not like he can even really drop mules to really hit a mule hammer and take advantage of that because, oh, look at all these disruptors available. One's going to get target fire down. Second one's going to go down. Third one, we only have three disruptors available. It's not going to get any good shots. And now there's no zoning disruptors anymore. Nothing that Parting can make use of. And actually, yeah, Byun going to target fire them down. Now it's only going to be 2 as the scan's going to make this. Yeah, Parting cannot fight this army when there's a scan down. Byun, once again, he's got an army supply lead. And it looks like he's losing some SDV. Yeah, DT on into his third base that really isn't mining anymore anyways. Does not matter. Parting going to lose the last of his mining as well. Yeah, he's kind of got that third base, but that's just going to be about it. Medevacs are going to get sniped down, and that's going to be a problem. Stalkers who blink on forward, but they only lose their lives. And Parting, he has like no mining on this, what was once a 4th base. He's lucky that it was once a 4th and not a 3rd because, well, sorry, that was originally his 3rd base. Anyway, Byun with his 20 army supply lead. He does have to be careful about those DTs. This Parting will not be able to uplink the scan. And Byun, he's mining again, right? He does have that extra base. Okay, so yeah, 500 minerals for a DT. I'm not sure that's worth it, but really in a game where every little bit of thing matters, especially now as Parting is functionally not. I'm surprised we don't see him long distance mining. Oh, okay, we do, but I mean, functionally, there's just no income here for either player. Every single unit counts, and you know, as much as I say it's 250 minerals, you do get that energy back. Well, you don't get that energy back, but you do generate more of it. So the game goes long enough, you will be able to mine mules again. It's not as important as, you know, losing permanent value as the DT is. Now Parting's going to look to take another base here. Zoning disruptor shot 2 out. There's one more, and that Byun's just going to look to jump on top of this army. As we see right now, he's going to own the Zelnog, but Stalkers are going to be outblink the disruptor shot, or excuse me, the Marauder concussive shells, but it's not going to be enough here. The army goes down, and GG Parting. He's going to fall. Byun, he takes this best of 3, 2-1. He moves on to the semifinals of ESL Open Cup number 87. Now, of course, reminder once again to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and if you like what I do, I'm live all the time, twitch.tv/Beowulf. I've returned from my move, but I'm going to be doing more stuff now. And of course, follow twitch.tv/AlphaX, and make sure to check out Salad. They do some really cool stuff, and you get a little bit of extra money when you do start. But with that, folks, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you next time.